There's a story making serious waves across Nigeria right now, and it involves Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, bandits, and some very interesting claims about police escorts. The headline that has been circulating suggests that the Kaduna State Commissioner of Police provided an escort for Sheikh Gumi to meet with 600 bandits. And as you can imagine, Nigerians are not taking this lightly. Social media has been on fire, with many people calling for investigations and even arrests, but Sheikh Gumi himself has come out to set the record straight, and what he is saying is quite revealing. According to Sheikh Gumi, the narrative being pushed online is not entirely accurate. He has clarified that yes, he did meet with bandits, but these meetings were not some secret rendezvous happening in the shadows. Instead, he insists that every single meeting he has had with these armed groups was done under the full watch and supervision of security agencies. We are talking about the police, local government officials, and state government representatives all being present. In his own words, Sheikh Gumi explained that he has been engaging with these bandits as part of a broader effort to encourage them to surrender their weapons and abandon criminality. He claims that through his interventions, he has successfully led 600 bandits to surrender, which he believes is a significant achievement in the fight against banditry in the northwest region. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Sheikh Gumi is not denying that he meets with bandits. In fact, he is openly admitting it and defending the practice. He argues that dialogue and engagement are necessary tools in resolving the security crisis that has plagued states like Kaduna, Zamfara, Katsina, and Niger for years. According to him, these meetings are not about sympathizing with criminals, but about finding a pathway to peace and rehabilitation. He believes that many of these young men who have taken up arms did so because of poverty, lack of education, and a sense of marginalization, and that with the right approach, they can be brought back into society as productive citizens. Sheikh Gumi has positioned himself as a mediator, someone who can speak the language of these bandits and convince them to lay down their weapons. However, not everyone is buying this explanation. Many Nigerians are furious and are questioning why a religious leader should be meeting with criminals who have kidnapped, killed, and terrorized innocent citizens. They're asking why these bandits are being treated with kid gloves while other criminal groups in different parts of the country face the full wrath of the law. Some are even suggesting that Sheikh Gumi's meetings with bandits may be enabling their activities rather than curbing them. The controversy has sparked a heated debate about whether dialogue with bandits is a viable strategy or whether it sends a wrong message and emboldens criminality. The role of the police in all of this is also under scrutiny. If indeed the Kaduna State Commissioner of Police or other security officials provided escorts for these meetings, it raises questions about the government's official stance on engaging with bandits. Are these meetings part of a coordinated government strategy, or are they unofficial initiatives by individuals like Sheikh Gumi? The lack of clarity from the authorities has only fueled more suspicion and anger among Nigerians who feel that the government is not doing enough to protect citizens from the relentless attacks by armed groups. Sheikh Gumi, for his part, remains defiant. He insists that his methods are working and that the surrender of 600 bandits is proof that dialogue can yield results. He has called on the government to support rehabilitation programs for repentant bandits, arguing that simply arresting or eliminating them will not solve the underlying issues driving banditry in the first place. He believes that without addressing the root causes, which include poverty, unemployment, and the proliferation of weapons, the cycle of violence will continue indefinitely. This entire situation is a microcosm of the larger debate happening in Nigeria about how to tackle insecurity. On one side, there are those who advocate for a purely military approach, arguing that bandits should be hunted down and neutralized without mercy. On the other side, there are those who believe that a combination of military action and dialogue is necessary to achieve lasting peace. Sheikh Gumi clearly falls into the latter camp, but his approach has made him a polarizing figure. Some see him as a peacemaker, while others see him as someone who is too soft on criminals. The timing of this controversy is also significant. Nigeria is currently facing one of its worst security crises in recent history. Banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism have become almost daily occurrences in many parts of the country, and citizens are growing increasingly frustrated with the government's inability to provide adequate security. In this context, the idea of engaging with bandits through dialogue rather than force is seen by many as a sign of weakness. People want to see decisive action, not negotiations with those who have caused so much pain and suffering. But Sheikh Gumi argues that his critics do not understand the complexity of the situation. He points out that many of these bandits are part of larger criminal networks that span across state borders, and that a purely military approach has not been effective in dismantling these networks. He believes that by engaging with the bandits directly, he can gather intelligence, understand their grievances, and create opportunities for them to exit the criminal lifestyle. He also argues that many of these young men are victims themselves, having been recruited into banditry at a young age and knowing no other way of life. The question of whether Sheikh Gumi should be allowed to continue these meetings is one that divides Nigerians. Some argue that any approach that can reduce violence and save lives should be explored, even if it means talking to criminals. Others insist that dialogue with bandits is a betrayal of the victims who have lost loved ones and property to these criminals. They argue that the government should focus on strengthening security forces, improving intelligence gathering, and ensuring that those who commit crimes are brought to justice. Now, if you have been following this channel and enjoying the way we break down these stories, do me a favor and hit that like button right now. It really helps us reach more people who need to stay informed about what is happening in Nigeria. And if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Another angle to this story is the broader issue of how Nigeria deals with insurgency and armed groups. The government has tried various approaches over the years, from military operations to amnesty programs, with mixed results. The amnesty program for Niger Delta militants, for example, was hailed as a success by some and criticized as a reward for criminality. Now, with banditry in the northwest, the debate about whether to fight or negotiate is playing out once again, and Sheikh Gumi has placed himself right at the center of it. What makes this story even more compelling is the fact that Sheikh Gumi is not a government official. He is a religious scholar who has taken it upon himself to engage with these bandits, and this raises questions about accountability and oversight. Who is monitoring these meetings? What commitments are being made on behalf of the government? And what happens if these so-called repentant bandits return to crime? These are questions that Nigerians are asking, and they deserve answers. The conversation around Sheikh Gumi and his meetings with bandits is far from over. As more details emerge and as the government continues to grapple with the security challenges in the northwest, we will be here to keep you updated and informed. What do you think about this whole situation? Should Sheikh Gumi be allowed to continue meeting with bandits, or should the government take a harder stance? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because we want to hear from you. This is a discussion that affects all of us, and your voice matters.